Little over a month ago, I went to Poland and competed in my first world tournament, and this was in sumo, and the video has already come out and people have already had their feelings about it, but there's some things that I didn't say initially. There's always things that you have to leave out as a YouTuber, whether it's for time constraints or things that you just think aren't going to be as fun for people to know, but you guys seem to want to know, so I'm going to tell you. This video will be linked down below if you haven't watched it yet. I think it's a really good video. I'm going to skim through a lot of the stuff that I don't have fun anecdotes about, because if it speaks for itself, it speaks for itself. So we start off with me winning nationals a few months ago. Fast forward, like, we are officially 1 week out from traveling to worlds. Essentially, my life for the last 6 months has gone like this. Win nationals, right back to training. The next week, lifting, hiking, running, practice, basketball, hiking, running, practice, training, practice, lifting, practice. There were plenty of days that I trained 4 times in a day. I have tracked every single workout I've had since nationals. Golly, I wish I still had that. I lost my heart rate monitor. I had to buy a new one. So this is Edge, the sports performance place I work at. They work with college and professional athletes, and me for whatever reason. Travis hooks me up. He gets me right. Maybe a little bit more than 2 months before the competition, I was lifting super heavy. I think I say it in here. Hold on. I'm definitely stronger. I had some hiccups along the way. I messed up my back. That wasn't the most unfortunate thing that happened. I kind of gloss over the back thing. Dude, I smoked my back. We were doing a heavy deadlift day, and sorry, it was a heavy squat day, and here's how our workouts go. I hit heavy legs 3 times a week. I know it's crazy. It's just how it goes. It's a full body workout. It's not always legs, like for the full thing, but we do a lot of legs. And Monday, I went down, came back up funny for a squat and kind of didn't think about it again. Wednesday, I went back and did deadlift, and by the time I'd done deadlift, I was like starting to feel sore. Finished the rest of the workout anyway, which was kind of it was hard on the back in the first place. My left lower back locked up, and I couldn't teach that afternoon. I couldn't work out the day afterwards. I could barely get out of bed. And it was like that for about 4 days. And then for 2 months after that, I just could not recover. I swapped out most of my training for, how long did I say I couldn't recover for? For like a week, 2 weeks after that. I mean, I still feel it right now. I had to seriously alter how I changed. I couldn't go hard. I couldn't go heavy with most of the lifts anymore. I was probably operating at like 60% maybe. Not an excuse. Everybody goes through this. Everybody goes through that. By the time I got to the world stage, I was like, I feel great. I'm ready to compete. There's no ailments. I could have been stronger going into it had I not had that hiccup. I'm hoping that I don't go through it again, so by the time I get the next tournament in, I'll just feel great. But yeah, no, that sucked, and it sucked for a while, and it still kind of sucks now. I wanted to just gloss over it though, because I don't think that's what this tournament was about. I don't think it had a huge effect on the outcome, so it's not really worth talking about. I'd rather just like let you feel what it felt like to me in that moment. And in that moment, I wasn't thinking about my back. And then Jared gets concussion. I think if I do everything correctly and all of the work that I do funnels into this perfect performance, I think I can win the whole thing. I really do. I think I can be the best in the world this year. Talking about it is making me nervous. So I will update. Yeah, no, I was, you go through this like weird this weird headspace of like, I don't want to say that I'm nervous out loud because I think it'll kind of dogpile on top of itself. So I want to, on the exterior at least, positive thoughts, positive mindset. I don't know what the world competition is like. I know what I'm like. I was confident in myself. I really had a chance to win in my head. And I still think that I did have a chance. Like, I know what the outcome is now. I still think that there was a chance that I could have performed really well. I think I did okay, but, you know. You guys, as I fly, the next time, I won't give spoilers. You know, if there's a chance that you're watching this and you didn't watch that, go watch that first, please. That took way more time and effort than me sitting here watching it. We'll probably be making sure my weight is right. And then the travel. Pose. I gloss over this, too. Okay. That's actually an old clip. I'm not going to Orlando.
Delayed. I've been sitting in here for like 37 million hours.
Okay, so here's what happened with the delay. Our flight was delayed. It was like 3 hours, the first one, going from JFK to Amsterdam. That flight was delayed 3 hours. My layover in Amsterdam, you guessed it, 3 hours. So the flight gets delayed. We did not think we were gonna make it. We land in Amsterdam and we're like, oh shoot, it's me and Jay. Jay is also flying along with me. We're like booking it across the Amsterdam airport. We finally get to the gate and we're like, oh sick, this is the gate. They didn't really give us a lot of information because it's now with a new airline, so my Delta app isn't like telling me which, it's not being super specific, and it's, anyway, but we're sitting there chilling. There's a bunch of people around us and we know people, like Kellyanne was there. So we're like, okay, sick, we're chilling. And then it says it gets delayed. Perfect, even better. We've got like 10 minutes to chill out. Those 10 minutes go by and we're kind of talking, and then I'm like, nobody's really moved or done anything. Kellyanne looks at her phone. She's like, we're at the wrong gate. It is departing right now. Yep. So then long story short, we hustle over to the gate. Obviously the plane's not there, so we missed our flight. Is it our fault? Maybe a little bit. Probably it's our fault. Rush over to anybody who can help us with the situation. We end up having to get a flight that's 6 hours later. We wait in the airport for the 6 more hours. We wait in the airport for 6 more hours. We get on a flight. We fly to Wrocław, Poland, and then we have to get in a Bolt, not an Uber, because it's, you know, Europa. And then that is like another hour-and-a-half drive. So by the time start to finish, we were traveling, it was 28 hours. And it was, I think we got to our little hotel at 1 in the morning. It was a bad experience. The traveling was horrible. It was so stressful. It was so time consuming and just felt like so many of those hours were such a waste. And yeah. Oh, and meanwhile, I'm like stressing about my weight. I have to be under 254 pounds, and traveling for 28 hours, like you're kind of just eating airport food, and I'm trying to eat as little as I can because I don't want to miss weight and then have to go through this whole process. And I missed the weigh-in time for the day before. So there's 2 weigh-in days, Thursday and Friday. Maybe. I missed the Thursday weigh-in time because we missed the flight. So now I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna have to weigh in the next morning. So I'm gonna have to be on weight for another 12 hours. So I bought this little scale to take around with me. So everywhere I go, all these bathrooms that I'm stopping at in these airports, I'm weighing myself, just making sure I'm good. I was very close the whole time. By the time I get there, I'm 7 pounds down. So in this clip here, where you see this. Okay. Oh, well, that was easy. There was so much stress, like a week, 2 weeks of stress about getting this weight right. And then I get there and they're like, you are 7 pounds under. And I was like, okay, whatever, man. All right, thanks. Appreciate your time. Oh my gosh, it was a mess. It was a big old mess. But you know what? By now, though, I feel so much better. So who cares, right? Now just imagine if I had gone through all that, and then I had to get in line for an eSIM, or I had to pay some ridiculous roaming fees. Now with today's sponsor, Saily, baby. Saily is an eSIM that you only have to download once, so you can put it on your phone, and then no matter what new country you go to, you can have connectivity for that place. In this trip, I am in Poland, and then I travel to the Czech Republic for like the last day. I wouldn't have had to re-download anything. I wouldn't have had to get a new local SIM. I wouldn't have to go find Wi-Fi somewhere, which is the worst. Kind of like wandering into a spot and be like, I'm gonna have to spend $7 for coffee to get Wi-Fi right here. I will admit that I have been a sucker for roaming fees in the past, but no more. $10 a day? Holy crap, that's so much. Not with Saily. You can get it for iOS or Android. With Saily, you can choose from different affordable eSIM plans from over 160 countries. It's a lot. You buy a plan at some of the best rates online, you download the app, and then as soon as your plane lands, you have service. If you're anything like me, you want to get that rideshare going immediately. I kind of play a little risky. I'll like get the rideshare when I land, and I'm like, okay, 15 to 20 minutes, give or take the amount of time it takes for me to get off and then walk, and then if I get, they give me 5 minutes of leeway time, I'm stretching it. I'm stretching a little thin most of the time. And if you'd like 15% more off of already saving money, get an exclusive 15% discount if you use my code SenseiReacts, SENSEIREACTS. You can use that code to checkout, or you can just go to this link right here, saily.com/SenseiReacts. Or you can just download the app and then use the code. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. But now, this video isn't just about me having a hard time traveling though. I had a hard time with other things too. Competition-wise. Yeah, let's just get into it. I'm in Poland. Man, Krotogen, Poland. Checklist, first thing to do, scare a little bit of urine out of my buddy Edibo.
Oh my God. Hey.
And second most importantly, get our gear. That's like half the reason that I won.
I love the Polish music.
To have the gear. I wanted
The polka is so good. Alright, that's enough.
Okay, that's enough.
I've seen this video so many times.
15 minutes and get to our first and only practice. This is the day before any competition starts, and we are actually practicing in the arena.
This is all as is. Everything you see here is pretty much what happened. It's practice.
All right, we just finished practice. Day before juniors, day of competition. So it is Friday. We compete on Sunday, and I feel good. We're also kind of like seeing some of the competition walk around, walk by, and you're friendly to everybody, but you're also kind of at the same time scouting them a little bit and see what everybody's about.
Okay, here's an explanation of sumo if you've already seen this, then you've already seen that.
Anyway, we did a little exploring in downtown Krotogen. They had this cool welcoming party where they fed us and they showed us all this cool cultural stuff that Poland has to offer.
One thing that I missed that I didn't put in, and I wasn't really like, I think I would have put it in if I had won, but I didn't, so I didn't put it in. I found this museum. I kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a strayer. I'm a bit of a strayer. If there's a group of people, I will wander off because I usually find cooler stuff. And I wandered off and I found this museum, and in this museum, there's a whole exhibit dedicated to Japanese martial arts in Krotogen, Poland, which I guess, I mean, the World Sumo Championship was there, so who knows. We're in the middle of nowhere, by the way. I know the smallest, like one of the smaller airports in Poland, you had to take an hour-long drive to get there from here, which is a very cute little town, don't get me wrong. There's no taxis, there's no cabs, there's no Ubers. Once you're in this town, nothing. Zip, zilch, nada, zero. Zero ways to get around. But anyway, I'm walking around this town and I find this, I'll include the clips here. I probably didn't use them mostly because they had this iridescent lighting, don't think that's the right word, that just kind of threw off all the shots and it made it look funky. But here's some pictures and some videos, and here's me standing in front of it stoically, thinking about my competition. But no, this whole part really gets into my head.
Which was very fun and enlightening, but at the same time, walking around all of those athletes kind of put me in a bit of a weird mindset. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got into my own head.
I didn't eat with everybody, or we all as a US group kind of ate ahead of time because we didn't know exactly when we were going to be fed, and then when we got fed, I was kind of full. So I didn't eat with everybody. I didn't really do any talking with anybody. I was going to afterwards, but for the most part, I didn't. It was chill. We were here for a long time. I think we were here for like 3 hours in this little town square. I think we left at like 11, just because that's when the buses came to pick us up. There was a lot of time to think. There was a lot of time to look at people and be like, I wonder who I'm gonna be matched up against. I wonder, you know, what they're gonna feel like. I wonder if it's gonna be any different. I wonder if it's gonna be faster. I wonder if the Tachi guys are gonna be harder. I really hope I don't slip. I don't know what the surface is like. There's just so many thoughts running through your head. It was stressful. And I think you can hopefully see how stressful it was from me talking slowly to the camera.
My nerves are really... it's not even starting to kick in. They're amplifying. Man, it's been a lot of work to get here, and I just don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the money and this time and the sweat. I don't want to spoil all that.
This is another example of like why it's weird to film YouTube videos about this stuff, because I don't want to say this stuff out loud because I'm feeling it, but if I say it out loud, it's going to amplify and then it might build on top of it, and I might feel worse because of it. And I think this is a situation where that happened. I felt worse because I talked about it, I think. But I wanted to illustrate to you guys how I was feeling. But yeah, no, I think I felt worse because of this talk. And then we figured out who we were going against. I have France first, and then in my head, I was like, France, beat Poland, then I have Ukraine. If I can beat Ukraine, then I have Japan. I had like a roadmap in my head of how things were going to go, and I really believed I could get that done. Ukraine was going to be brutal though. Like, Poland was hard. Ukraine would have been brutal. The kids go, the kids smash it.
It is day one of the World Sumo Championships. Competing today here in...
I'm okay.
Good. Kellyanne's a monster. This dude right here walked up to me and was like, yo, Sensei Seth, what's up? I'm a big fan of your channel. Can we take a picture? There's a picture somewhere of me with this guy in the samurai outfit. I have no idea where that is though.
Let me tell you.
Gabe's a strong kid. This kid's like 16, I think.
Goodness gracious, every country had little monsters. They're throwing each other around with reckless abandon. Zero regard for human child.
Oh my gosh.
9 a.m. until about 4 p.m. I wasn't really doing anything but watching, and I'm glad that was the case. There were some fantastic matches that happened.
Wow, that I forgot about how good that match is. That is a good match.
Power, precision,
This kid from Poland was so nice.
Sumo.
It's the only clip I could find of him, so I used it, but
Going to be the only people competing.
that kid was very nice. He helped me get around. Oh man, close up of the... Sorry about that. Okay, so then we get to the team match with Japan. Okay, so you don't see... I think I cut it out. In this moment, we're all kind of like waving. This is like 20 minutes before we're about to wrestle. Eventually, everybody kind of lines up right here to then walk out. You see us walk out. Japan is on the other side of us, and the dude who I wrestled from Japan, I didn't even know I was going against him. There's no reason for him to know that I was going to be second, unless they looked at the bracket, maybe, or maybe they looked at the team order. I didn't think to do that. I was just like, whoever they put in front of me, I'm gonna wrestle. The big dude from Japan, who was the biggest one on the team, was like, standing over here, he's looking at me like this. And I can feel him looking at me. And I'm just like... And now, like, when I look at him, he's like... And he's sizing me up. And let's see if you can see it in the clip. But he keeps doing this for the rest of the time. He's still looking at me here. I'm looking back at him. I can feel him, like, watching me. It was... I think it's this guy right here. Yeah, it's this guy. It's this behemoth. This guy was super nice too. He's very cool. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see. He's looking at me here, and at one point, it's on the camera, but I think I cut it out. The guy's looking at me, and he's just staring at me from across the way. They're sitting over here facing this way. I'm sitting over here facing this way, and he's looking at me. I'm just like, you see me nod at him? I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. I'm sizing him up. I'm like, man, this is just a guy. It's a big guy. It's a big guy, but he's just a guy. Yeah, he's like in Japan and all this stuff. A lot of people were curious how they decide who from Japan comes to compete in this. I believe it's the top guys in the college rankings. I think they had like a college tournament, and then those guys go to this. That's what I've been kind of told. I would imagine all three of these guys are like high-level college sumo wrestlers. Had to go traditional for this one. You know, I was like, we're going against Japan. Got to go tradish. So here was my thought process before we get started. Whenever I go against bigger guys like this, sometimes, depending on what I think they're going to do, I like to go step here with my left foot, and then a big step with my right foot right down the middle. So 2 steps. Boom, boom. And then what that does is I kind of put my right shoulder right down the middle, and it kind of cuts in half any force that the big guy is coming with. So I was like, okay, let me do that. I'll try and get 2 quick steps in. And then I don't know if you can hear it or not. You put both hands down, the ref will say, Hikimasyo, Hakyoi! He doesn't say Hikimasyo. He goes straight to the Hakyoi. I didn't notice it at the time. I don't think it really mattered that much. Just a little thing that he did. And let me hear it again. Maybe it did. It was just really quiet. Oh yeah, but also the thing that I was doing obviously didn't matter. Let's see how these steps work. Man, he's so much faster. I haven't even moved yet. He gets me with a good face slap. Let's see how my footwork is looking. Left foot is definitely the one that wants to step. Boom. Takes such a small step. Little bitty step. Already legs are almost extended all the way. See how he's got this great knee bend here. This leg is extended. My right leg is not quite extended. My left leg, it just got no distance. Look at the difference. For me, my foot went from here to here. That's not very far. Now let's look at the difference between his step. His foot went from here to here. He took up all the space in between us, and I was just kind of like, oh, here we go. And then, you know, I didn't have the best reaction. I wish I would have done better on this one, because that would have been I wanted to feel what that felt like. And then I'm just trying to drop my body weight down below his. He's got a really good underhook here. As I try to drop that body weight down and get my foot on the Tawara, and I'm like, okay, I'm stopped for now. And he just shucks that overhook, or that underhook over top. Boop, and I was putting too much weight on him without any good grips. And I get launched down into the ground. So that's my first match. Yeah, not ideal. Look, you can see right here where my face smacked his shoulder. Boof, boof. My right eye went directly into his shoulder, and then you can see that right here. It's just a little red. It's not too bad. You can see it though. It's a little swollen. Anyway, so turn around, say good match to everybody. I want to be in good graces with the people doing sumo in Japan. Turn around and say, man, that guy was big to Rokus. Rokus was up at the top filming, by the way. Rokus came for this along with some of the other people, some fans, which is so wild to me that somebody would travel to this event to watch me sumo. On day 2, you'll be able to hear people go, Sensei Seth, which was so sick. And I just didn't get the amount of time that I usually get. So much better of a step. Great start by him. Let's move straight on to day 2. Not a lot happens in between night 1 and night 2. I just kind of am like sleeping, and then at the same time like, let's hope that that doesn't happen for the rest of the trip. Like, let's hope that I don't get little boyed every other match I have. Oh my gosh. Do I have footage of this? This opening ceremony. Do I even have footage of it? I think I might have included like 10 seconds. I don't know exactly where the footage is. I'm sure I used it. They like asked, hey, does anybody want to do the opening ceremony where you like carry the flag? I at least have it right here. So this right here where everybody carries out the flags, this is the kids' day of the opening ceremonies. The kids' day opening ceremony was 45 minutes long of just people giving speeches. People who are like in the city government or in the judo or in the sumo federation, or I don't even know. Half of it wasn't in English, but because half of it wasn't English, they had to translate it to English. On day 2, they asked the adults, they were like, hey, who wants to carry the flag and do this and that? And I just wanted you guys to know, for the content, I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Because I want to have that clip of me like walking up, like carrying something USA. I don't think I even put it in. I can't find it. I literally can't even find it. So I stood there for 45 minutes waiting to probably not even fully actually use the footage, which I've done so many times for videos. I hope you guys appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to day 2. Okay, USA team smashes. The question is, will that be how sumo goes for me? Shout out to Brenda for tying the best mawashi in the biz. Shout out to Rokus for getting the behind the scenes footage that I wouldn't have otherwise. That Eric is like, Seth. I think it might have been Edibo too. We're like, you good? And I was like, yeah, no, I feel good. In this moment, I'm like, let's do this. I'm excited. I'm ready to get to work. That was a guy from Japan. There's a couple other matches that I didn't put in. Then I have France. I can cut out some of the dramatics.
So USA versus France right now, and Seth did not mess about. A win for Sensei Seth.
Fun fact, this was the only person from France. The only person from France. I forget his name. He was a very nice guy. This is how most of my matches feel. In my opinion, sumo is kind of like board breaking. When you do it correctly with the correct amount of force, it kind of feels like butter. For me, for a good tachi for me, it feels like butter. Like you just kind of work through the person and then it's over and then that's it. That's how I like my sumo to be. And this match felt like that. Let's watch the footwork here. In my first match, boom, I like this hop tachi. I'm not gonna say why. I got away from it day 1. I wish I wouldn't have. Boom. Puts my hips in good positions, drive with the hips, 1 step at a time, right foot down, left foot down, all parts of the foot on the ground. Boom, hard stick onto the ground. Boom. And then big release with the arms to free up any hands that have grips, giving me plenty of space.
That initial burst will take me to the second round versus Poland.
Poland. But first, I'm a little more hyped now.
Watch the entire division, which in my opinion was quite stacked.
I think that kid's from Hungary. He was insane. This guy from Mongolia, he ended up winning the whole thing. This guy from Kyrgyzstan, maybe? I can't remember exactly where, but he looked young. And he did really well too. I wish I would have gotten a chance to wrestle him because he's like super tall. This kid here. This is my boy from Great Britain. He was incredibly cool. We talked in between matches. And then Carol from Poland. Looks like me light. Like just lighter colored hair. And maybe skin. I'm not really super tan anyway. So I get that same tachi. I've got a lot more ground that I covered this time than he did. He gets underneath me pretty well, gets that same underhook, throws it over top, but I lean on him pretty well and immediately regroup and get that position. From there, I get here and I move him. I'm like, okay, he's movable. I can move this guy. So I go for some hip bursts, plant both feet, throw the hips, plant both feet, throw the hips, plant both feet. And then on the third one, I was too far away and he felt it. And he uses, let's get another angle. He uses my momentum of this burst. He shoots his hip back. Look at that mean Polish face. He shoots his hip back. I go to push my hips in and towards. My legs extend, but they don't push anything back. His hips aren't there because he sucked them back in. Then he uses this grip, pushes this leg in between mine, which stops this leg from being able to balance. Boom. See, this leg goes up in the air. He does a great job of looking down, rotating. He readjusts his foot, keeps my leg from being able to get back inside.
Tossed me off the dohyo.
And just rolls through it super well. Great technique. And it all started from me getting too anxious and wanting to finish the match right here. 3 good pushes and he gets a good rotation. And what I do wish I would have done now is either wrap my right leg around his left or take this step inside, beat him here, replace what he's doing to me. So right now he's cutting off my right leg. I wish I would have taken my right leg, cut off his, and then rotated him left instead of him rotate me right. So instead of this, I wish I would have put my foot down and in right here and rotated him this way. But that's why you watch film. That is things that I have taken note of and practiced since. Bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Good job, Carol. Fun fact, after this match, Carol, I walked up to him and was like, hey man, good match, well done. I told him I had a knot right here on top of my head, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I was like, did you feel that? And he goes, and I look at him and he's got this knot on his eyebrow about this big. He's like, oh yeah, did you see stars? I was like, no, I didn't see stars. You can hear the head clack as we come in. It's like a boom. You hear? It's hard to hear, but it's like a thunk. And then that actually happens right here. Oh no, it was right there, sorry. That's not where I got the knot though. I got the knot right here. You can see my hair. Oof. You can see his head kind of go womp. Watch. Doo-doosh. That's where the knot came from. He's very patient. Played such a good game here. Anyway, you can see how frustrated I am with myself here. You could probably see me
is repechage. Repechage.
Say a curse word.
French word for losers bracket. To be honest, I don't know how it works. My thought process.
And then I have Canada. Again, unique tachi, different than most people's. Get these steps in. Get both hands inside. Head in the chest. He actually gets an underhook here, but I put my weight down on this right leg and shoot my underhook over top. Whoosh, right there. So that kind of nullifies his leverage here. Boom. Big throw. Woof. And then from there is just getting him out, getting him off me. And then I did y'all dirty. I acted like I'm gonna blow through the next couple people.
Which essentially means I have a chance to win the losers bracket bronze. Is less than I came for, but hardware is hardware. First, I need to get through Chinese Taipei.
Get through Chinese Taipei. I made it seem like I was just gonna blow through this match. Let's watch this one. Again, great position so far. The only thing that I don't love is this left hand being on the lat. He throws that arm over top. Whoop. Should have kept more grips. Typically when I do this, I got so much movement. So much movement here. Woof. Immediately he went from here to here within one push. So I feel good and I just start pushing stuff that I shouldn't be. Pushing up too high on the body. He does a good job of getting out of the way. Yanking that arm up and over. And then I lost. Lost a match that I was like, here, I'm like, got this. He moves so easy. Typically when I move people that easy, they go out. But I got a little overzealous. I have this right arm pinned pretty well, so when he tried to do the scoop through on my head, it didn't work. And I'm pushing down, and I just slipped off right here, which stinks. And then he used that. He used that really well. Nice job. Once again, stuff I've watched film on, stuff I'm fixing. Won't be a problem next time. And that is my experience. Watching the replay up on the big screen, because I was like, man, how did I lose that? How did he get that? And he just, I was pushing him 1 second and then he was not there the next. And then a long, big montage of people hugging me and being so kind. This guy's from Greece. We were talking to each other a bunch. He was a fan. Nice dude. He was in either my weight division or open weight, I believe. Edo giving me some words of encouragement and then some tips. He said I was so close. He was like, I think he just said I was a little too zealous at the end, maybe, but I had it, which was the same thing for him. He had the exact same experience, which is so tough. Then I went into the back, cried a little. Eric came out and talked to me. I don't have any of that on footage, but you know, we just kind of talked about how wanting it that much means it hurts more when you lose. It is what it is. By the time I'd come out here with Rokas, I was like, Rokas, I'm like on the verge of crying again. So if you ask me a hard question, I will cry. And so immediately he's like, how do you feel? And I was like, no! I cut out a lot of me crying. What's really funny, I'm devastated in this moment. After this, I'm like, okay, I get myself together. And then the guy from Ukraine moved on. He was somebody I've been watching his tape for so long because he's so good. And I walked up to him and I'm probably still teary-eyed. And I'm like, hey man, I watched a bunch of your footage. I was really hoping to have a match with you. I'm sorry I couldn't. I wish I would have done better. But next year I'm gonna try and get you. And he was like, oh no, don't worry. And then he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, you're not bad. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. I don't think I feel any better. With his Ukrainian accent, he passed me on the shoulder. He goes, oh, you're not bad. And I was like, okay, thanks. So, and then Kellyanne does super well. Girls team does super well. So then we have Poland one last time in teams. And I did call, like, all this stuff is super true. I called my shot. I was like, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him this way. Let's do this. Let's move on. I want to have more matches. And then we end up with this match.
Is the biggest person I've ever wrestled.
Here we go, up next, Sensei Seth against that behemoth.
Scott Findlay with a killer commentary.
Oh. How do humans get that big, honestly? You should stand next to this pole. He's huge. Seth's no small man.
So I immediately get double unders. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how I win this match or what my strategy is or why this all goes down. Because the things that I lost by, I can fix. I can't fix this. It's already working well, so I don't want to give out too much information.
But you look small here. Look, Seth's turned him in. Oh my God. Sensei Seth taking the win.
I win a lot of matches like that against bigger guys. Like a lot. So that was a good feeling. I'm glad I got that one. My favorite thing about Edo being around is that if you win, he jumps. I love to watch my people when stuff like this happens. That guy from Brazil, let's go. Edo jumping, JJ, Eric with a big smile. That was nice. I felt good about that. And then my little swaggy walk. I'm like, let's go do it. Ain't none to it but to do it. Oh, that doesn't matter. That was the whole video anyway. You can go watch that one next. Yeah, that was my experience. And then travel back was, of course, super easy. I got to go to the mountain area, which was super fun. I'll probably have a video soon about sumo again. And yeah, for those of you who enjoy the sumo content, thank you guys. I appreciate it. You can see my little World Sumo Championship thing here. I don't know what they call this, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool that I have that. I wish there was a medal next to it, but you know, next year, 2025 in Bangkok, I believe. So I'll keep training. I'm already back into it. I've got a whole year to get ready now and get better. So until next time, peace.